We're a week away from Christmas and a couple weeks, 2 weeks away from Kwanzaa. Hanukkah, I think, is Sunday. Lots going on, I think. I'm I hope I'm right in what I'm saying because I don't want to offend. But anyway, happy holidays, everyone. This is our Clarity Hotline Holiday Edition. Um, I guess in a way, but no, I just want to wish everyone a happy holiday. I'm not going to be on long. I'm actually early to, we're starting earlier this hotline because I have a kindergarten holiday party to volunteer myself at. So I'm excited to see my boy just frolic in his little holiday winter party day. They're making a day of it, which is really great, right? A day of just to celebrate and be free and do crafts and move around the classroom and have snacks and goodies and treats. Anyway, so that's going to be really fun to see. So I'm off to do that after this, and I recognize my little. He's in triage. I'm checking on this guy, seeing if I can bring him back to life without interfering too much, like putting a stick up. I don't know. I need to see what's going on with the stock. But anyway, so as far as just today, I wanted to check in, say happy holidays. We won't be here next week and the week following, just to take a holiday break. And I'm sure you guys are going to be busy on those days. So I don't know, unless the mood strikes and I get online. For Christmas Day, probably not. Or New Year's Day, maybe, right? New Year's Day feels maybe like a little celebration would be in order. Because considering how I go to bed at probably 9 p.m. every New Year's Eve for the last 5 years, like it's just I do not stay up for the actual, midnight strike. I'm like on Eastern time. And then I go to bed and start the day, the next day, the next year, hopefully with really good rest. That's how it is right now for me. Anyone else go to sleep at 9 p.m. their time to to get some good rest instead of stay out late? I remember those days though. And those days will return, I'm sure. I'll be out at midnight hearing the bell ring or the ball drop, and that'll be fun when it happens again. But anyway, this is good for now. This is fun for me for now. I do have a question though, as we, go into, I have a question for you on this hotline as we go into 2026. And before we get in the question, let's just ground, get centered and present. Take your big breath in and out. I'm doing the exhale through my mouth because I'm talking a lot, and it lets a lot more energy be released with an open mouth than a closed one. Inhale. Remember those longer exhales to just really release the tension. You'll feel it just fall away, right? Just taking that second to breathe and get centered. My cough is gone. I know I just coughed, but it's just, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm not really sick anymore, I don't think, but I am a little bit stuffy. Yeah, I'm still a little bit stuffy. And sometimes I cough, but it feels like I have to cough, but it doesn't seem like I'm coughing that much anymore, which is good. Anyway, so get into your space, ground down where you are. This is the beginning of presence. It's just recognizing where you are, opening yourself to the space around you, and recognizing your space, the space you're taking up, in the greater space around you. That's presence. So, so the question I have for you, we can just kick things off because we're not going to be on here too long, is, are there goals that you have on your to-do list, on your bucket list that you've had on for years and you kind of keep carrying them forward? You wrote it in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, and you're still not checking it off. I've got goals like that. I'm taking away on them, but it doesn't, there are goals that just had to either not happen for whatever reason, or other goals felt more like more of a priority in my life. And now I'm able to put them back on my year's goal list, right? Since removing it because it just wasn't the right time. Well, what is that for you? So you've got a goal, and for whatever reason, your reason for not achieving the goal could be different. But ultimately, it's just because you're delaying it, right? We're delaying it for whatever the reasons are. Not good or bad, it just is, right? So, because at any point, we want to know that we're moving in the direction of our highest and greatest good. We want to know that we're putting one foot in front of the other with purpose and intention. We are choosing to go this route, right? We're not victims to the path we are walking in life. Now, I say that because it's the truth, right? You look back and maybe you've had on there weight loss goals or career goals, and you're just not checking them out. Relationship goals, right? Being married by now, or you thought that you guys were together and he was going to pop the question and he's not. And that's a common thing too. I just heard it yesterday on the radio, where, he's not asking me to marry him. And so what do? I thought my goal would be planning a wedding this year or next year. And it's not, maybe if it's a shotgun wedding. But I mean, you could do anything in 12 months. There's a lot that can be done. But anyway, you have this goal that you've just been carrying over and over and over, and now you're ready to see it happen. Now, I will tell you this. You might want to look at your goal and make sure that it carries with it the intention before and after, right? So there's kind of this goal, but it doesn't just exist on an island, right? In exclusivity. It's inclusive of everything else in your life, right? It's just, you're not going to get that goal without everything kind of coming with you. Well, what's coming with you? Who's coming with you? Where are you when you achieve this goal? What are you doing? So there's so much context that we don't want to forget about when we write a goal on our list that we often do. And when you're looking at, let's say 3 resolutions, 3 goals for the new year, when you're looking at your goals for the new year, make sure you are recognizing the context that comes with it, right? The attendant emotions, the attendant baggage, clutter, the people, right, that you want in your company when you achieve this goal. Consider that and include them in the vision that you have for next year. If anything feels incongruent, though, like you look at that and you're thinking, oh, yeah, well, the before and after is a little not clear, then it's not a good goal for next year, unless you can spend the time, get clear on what the goal is. You might realize there's a step just before that goal that feels a little bit more congruent, because in fact, it needs to happen first in your eyes. And this is all just a matter of perspective. This is just a matter of breaking down the goals we've set and keep pushing forward and still not there. You think it might happen in one fell swoop. Well, maybe it's taking the years before it to make happen, right? You're laying the groundwork or whatever. You're doing the connecting with people in your community, so that when you do, I don't know, actually, when you venture out and do this, then you've got like people supporting you, right? You've got a support network that are going to rally around you and take you there, right? Maybe you're doing all that. Who knows? But for whatever reason, this goal is still not done. If you know that you want something in 2026, what is in the way? That's a big question to ask. And right now, how I'm working with clients is through my clarity intensives, which are VIP days where we're getting clear, typically on business, but it could be about anything, motherhood. It could be about really anything. And it's appropriate for 2026, because if you come in kind of having this idea of how you want to feel in 2026 or what you want to make happen, how you want to feel, and behave, and what you want to do and have in your life for 2026, then the Clarity Intensive is good, because we're dissecting kind of, is there something in the way of you having this? Have you not broken down that goal enough to where it feels doable, achievable, and inspires you to take action every single day? Even if it feels like all you did today was a minute's worth of, you know, making a dent in that goal, moving, taking a stride toward that goal, it's still movement in the direction of the goal, right? Even if you reviewed your goal list on a day where you felt a little bit lazy, if all you did that day was review your goal list and remind yourself of the goals you're working toward, then that lazy day is actually productive because it's keeping your mindset on track. It's keeping you tuned and tapped into the wavelength that's going to attract you to having the vision that you want for your life, having achieved that goal, which is a stepping stone, right, in the ultimate vision for your life. And so a clarity intensive is what I'm offering people outside of being in my mastermind. This is really the only way to work with me, but it's appropriate for the new year if you want to sign up for one, because there's so many things that clarity gives you, right? If you want to give yourself the gift of clarity for 2026 and just be able to hit the ground running, I know it's the year of the horse, so it's like this gallop toward your success, right? If you know where you're going and the horse knows where it's going or trusts you to point it to the direction where it's going, then it will charge, right? This energy of just like carrying some of the weight of your journey so that you've been on is going to happen next year. And imagine having set in stone, right? This plan A for yourself. I'm going down this path to my plan A, and it's my vision I see for myself. Imagine the momentum that happens, right? With this galloping horse at the ready to help take you there, and the wind at your back. And that's clarity. I mean, clarity is mindset. If you think about why 90% of success in business, and you see people talk about it all day long, billionaires and beyond, mindset is what takes you there, because you've got to move past on a daily basis the fear, the distractions, the doubt, all the stuff that gets in the way and makes everything feel overwhelming. It makes you feel anxious. It makes you feel scared and nervous, like you're doing something wrong, because that feeling of, survival, those survival instincts come in. But if they're not accompanied by your maternal instincts, for instance, when raising a family, or your just life instincts in living your life and choosing the path that you're on, trusting yourself, your gut instinct, right? If you're not coupling those, then you're always going to be living in survival mode. And that's just the busy chaos of life. That's the rat race, that we talk about escaping. It's not only you want to get out of the rat race because you just don't want to go drive to your job every day and do the work of your boring job every day and then go back home and commute. And that's not the rat race. The rat race is a mindset. The rat race is feeling like you have to go and be on the hamster wheel of life and just doing the same thing every day. And there's no reward and there's no thanks. And it's just sucky. It just sucks. And, it's miserable. That's the rat race. You want to wake up and feel joyful, right? Every morning. You want to wake up and feel alive, fully awake to your life and everything that's going to happen. And that's a mindset. Mindset faces challenges, it faces fear, it faces doubt, and it says, so what? I'm still moving forward. Oh yeah, okay, fine. Cringy, I know. Climbing cringe mountain, also a thing that the mindset takes you through. You gotta grin and bear it, right? Cringe mountain. Even going on live when you aren't on the right time. It's not the right schedule. It's just, I'm going live. I'm going live when I can go live. And making it work, right? And not overcomplicating things and not overthinking things and by doing all that, overwhelming yourself, because it's then, in you trying to measure up to what you think other people want to see from you, you're living someone else's life. You're living in someone else's eyes. You're not living in your own eyes, which of course, yeah, why would you trust yourself if you didn't it's like you're walking blindfolded. You don't know where you're going. You're waiting for somebody else to guide you, right? Guide you along while you're blindfolded and point the way, tell you when a curb's coming, and tell you when to stop because a bus is coming, and then tell you when to run because a dog is coming. Things like that. We can take off the blindfold when we have clarity about what we want, what we're going after, why we're here, what matters most. The joys of life, right? Recognizing the joys in everyday moments, simply because you took the time to feel into joy and you took the time to meditate, away the anxiety. You took the time to breathe and calm the tension in the moment. And these are all little practices of clarity that we do when the body pushes us to. But imagine being proactive and just having that as a regular for you, like a ritual that you do to come into the knowledge, this innate knowing that you have in life. It's this divine source energy, whatever you want to call it, universal wisdom, that's giving you everything you need when you need it. You just have to say when you need it. So we need it. We need it now. We need it every day. We need to be connected to clarity every single day. Clarity is on the path of enlightenment. And when you apply it to business, which we often do in these clarity intensives, when you're applying clarity to business, clarity gives you a clear direction. It gives you clear focus. It gives you exactly the most important task every single day, the MIT, the most important task every single day to do to move the needle in your business, to affect the bottom line in a major way. And with vision, you can see how that could happen, right? Because you're following the thread, the through line that says, if I do this, this will happen. Because in everything you're doing, you're attaching an if I do this, then if I do this. But part of clarity is seeing, if I hire this out, if I let someone else help me here, if I just drop that and just shelf it for later, it's not a hell yes right now. I'm going to do this instead. This is where I'm at, right? This is my focus. This is what's calling to me right now. This is where I can give my all. That's clarity. And that's you not doing all the time, right? That's just a shift in perspective and a shift in conscious awareness and awakening. And I mean, we need it. Why it's important for a mom to have this level of clarity, speaking for myself, is that clarity has given me like 2020 vision for foresight and hindsight. So I'm able to look back and see how everything's kind of like still working in my environment, right? In my brand environment. Everything that I've worked on before still serves me today. And then in foresight, everything that I'm working on now serves tomorrow. And it's all good stuff, right? So I'm able to see that. I'm able to have a clear direction. I'm able to know how to use my time. I'm able to know what matters most to me. So at the top of the day, if I've set my sights into doing X, Y, and Z, then I know really all that matters is getting X done. I just need to get X done and I'll feel accomplished. I know at least what X is. The Y and Z are just if I get to it, right? If I can do it, that would be great because then I'm maybe ahead of the game or, prepares me to do something else a little bit faster. But knowing my X is like the most calming thing ever. Knowing what I need to do first helps me get it done and enjoy it. So I have, clarity enough to set a routine and a ritual every day, to know like how to move into business and then come out and be a mom. I've got transition rituals, which we talked about in a YouTube video, I think last week. And I know, right, even being a wife, like going from work mode to being a wife, that's two different trains of thought, right? There's like my work can still stay intimately involved, right? Like where I'm putting my whole heart and soul into something. But if it's admin and rote work, then there's a shift that needs to happen in my uh, in my physiology, in my cellular network, like, that would welcome my husband home better than, um, just, maybe I'm in my grind and doing something heavy or complicated. And I'm just like trying to simplify it because it's just like, it came on. This is actually a real example. So this week, I've got a routine every single day, right, of the week. Well, when it comes to Christmas and the kids having their Christmas programs and and appointments getting plopped on my lap, that are school related, that weren't scheduled before, that showed up, and presented themselves as urgent, and so they still needed to happen. It's the holidays. We want to embrace that. Then I'm thrown off my schedule. I still know that what's the most important thing to do, and it did get done. The second most important thing to do, I still have a day. I'm going to get it done. The third thing, if I can't get it done by Friday, then how do I feel about that? And I just work through it. And I also get to be present with all the things that popped up on my plate this week that I'm excited to be part of. And then I also get to be present in the fewer minutes that I can work. And I also know when to call in the support, when I need help. Like, okay, everything. I mean, and a funeral was planned last week, so that was something I intended to go to. It's very important to me that I attended this funeral. So things also got shifted from that because of the just everything getting kind of rerouted in my days. I had to first accept it, right, and breathe through it and recognize there was a transition ritual here because there was me recognizing that these are all things I want to be part of. Like this is what makes life rich and rewarding and feel important. It's important that I show up in this way as a friend, as a mother, and so I did it, right? And all that to say that when I show up as entrepreneur and do my work, to take my client calls, I'm still able to do that because those are things that are non-negotiable. So they are in the day, and if I need to get support around that somehow, some way, then I do, because I know those are on my calendar, those that need to get done, and everything has to move around it, right, and make it work. So I wouldn't schedule myself or schedule anything or say yes to something where that was in place of a non-negotiable. I have very few non-negotiables though, because, well, as far as in the calendar, like stuck to a time frame, I have very few, and that makes life lighter for me as a mom with a very unpredictable mom schedule. So that makes it really light for me. There are very few things that have to be on a certain date and time in my week. Otherwise, I have non-negotiable time boxes that I can just kind of move around as I see fit. But I know that I need this much time for this, and I need it to be quiet, or, oh, I can do that with the noise of the family going on, fine. Or I need to go elsewhere, library, coffee shop, whatever, my co-working space, and sit and work and get that quiet, whatever. But I know that I can, okay, I can chunk this out and move this around. So that's all a good feeling, right? I mean, clarity, this all boils down to the benefits of clarity. We need clarity at every level of business. And I think you see a lot of memes, and they're talking about how you start and then you get clarity. No, you needed clarity to start. There was something you were really clear on. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm not going to let anything stop me. I am sure about, at least if I take this one step and sign up for this one event or do this one thing, then show up at the gym this one day, that I will be moving in the direction of my goals. That is clarity. That is mindset. And so yes, you have clarity, and to some extent, you have clarity when you make that first step. And a lot of times, when we stay confused and stuck and unable to start, like unable to just take the leap and start our business, there's something blocking you. We know that, and it's in your mind. It's a mindset thing. It's not a body thing, because the body will come. The body will come. And just like training a dog, the dog will come, but you might have to work with it a few days, a few times, a few instances, in different scenarios, environments, with different treats, saying it in a different language. The dog will come. Same as the body. The body will fall in line and be like, yes, as long as it trusts you to know what it's doing, like to tell it what to do, and it trusts you that you know what you're telling it to do. Like, you see the vision, right? You're the one looking at the GPS, right? You're interpreting what you're taking in through your eyes, and then you're telling the body. I mean, there's literally a chemical reaction happening from brain to body when we decide to do something. And so there's clarity at the start of, you need clarity to start. There's clarity at every level of business necessary to keep going. And I believe, yes, the hardest part of a business is starting, because there's so much self-doubt. Oh man, there's so much self-doubt. I can't tell you how many calls I've been on, and it's just doubt. It's just a whole full conversation of doubting yourself, and it's not your fault. So you're not alone. That's the good thing. You're not alone. There's just what do they say? New level, new devil. At every level of life, every rite of passage, every milestone, every new thing that we take on in our life, right? We're entering willingly this unknown wilderness where anything and everything can pop up and scare us, and it will. And once we conquer that forest and we're Lord of the Rings and we're on to the next forest, or whatever, Game of Thrones, I think of the map, it's like all these different things, right? That you've got to chart, plan, conquer, whatever, and just you're checking it off until you're king of the world. That's what we're doing. We're just kind of entering this new wilderness. Well, you need clarity to make that step. It's your flashlight, right? You see as far ahead as just take a few steps, and then you see more, and then you see more, and then you see more. So this flashlight is giving you that insight into your surroundings, into your environment. That is clarity at the start. Then I think the second hardest part in business is simplifying, not getting overwhelmed, right? Choosing the simple path, choosing the slow path, choosing the path that is steady and smooth, because you're able to be steady and smooth, right? It's not a huge lift to do the things that you set out to do, because at the start, you want things to be simple and smooth and steady, and you want to be able to do it without second guessing yourself. Like, I can get this done, no problem. It would be impossible. Like, an act of God would have to happen for me to not get this done. That's how sure of your task on a daily basis you want to be, to make sure that you're moving the needle every single day, and you're making that 1% growth, that 1% increase, that 1% improvement in your business as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a founder, that, that's going to continue to take you up and up and up and up where you want to be. Now, where are you going? When you think of going up and up and up where you want to be, is it just dead space up there? Like, have you envisioned yourself like walking into the room and doing what you do? Showing off your masterpiece? Is it an art gallery you're walking into? Is it a stage? Is it a book signing? I mean, where are you when you're doing what you're doing to get to where you want to go? This is all clarity there. And so when you know that, clarity to get simplified, clarity to simplify your way there, is the ultimate win. Do you want to spend your whole life in this business and in life feeling overwhelmed and like it's just you're overcomplicating the process? You want to feel like you're always behind? You want to feel like peace is that way, so, some far distant future that you can't grasp right now? Do you want do you want joy to feel like it's just something in the past? Do you want joy to feel like it's now? It's something I can have right now. I can feel joyful now because I've got everything I need. And what I do have, I'm really grateful and appreciative of. And notice how that vibration sends out a signal into the universe and brings back more to you. It's just this reverberation of good feeling vibrations that affect your bottom line, make you feel peaceful and light and free. And that is not only in life, but it can also be in business. And I'm a testament to it, because I've seen it happen. I am having it happen. And what I think is important to say on that note is that this is a business that fits your life. Like, we're building businesses that support us living the best life that we want to live. We're building businesses that feel like our purpose is being fulfilled every single day. If we stay on that train of thought, right, or that if we stay there in our beliefs that I'm being called to this. I feel inspired to do this. Even on my down days or my lazy days or my tired days, I still feel drawn to this. I'm very connected to this vision. If that is the soundtrack to your life, then there's nothing that's going to stop you. And everything that is attracted to inspiration and clarity and drive is more of the same. It's peace, love, abundance. Imagine just being so focused on the thing that you want in life that you become the person that's capable of having the thing that you want in life. And it just happens. It's like you're walking your path, right? And then little by little, people start to join you and bring with them what they have that can help you on your path. So you're not just lifting alone. And next year you get a horse. So you're definitely not lifting alone. You're riding off into the sunset, right? And then you get another person on horseback joining you into the sunset. And it's it doesn't always have to fall on your shoulders. But what you can do, what you can control right now is how you simplify your business. Simplify your life is getting into your awareness, what you can control, and just focusing on that. So anywho, I should probably get going. I do want to just wrap up and say, if you're interested in a Clarity Intensive, like I said, a Clarity Intensive is a VIP day with me where we're diving into life questions, business questions, whatever questions you have around your next step forward. We get clear by the end of the call. And then you have 2 weeks live support with me. So access to me as you implement these action items that we give at the end of the intensive, you are executing on that. And I'm working in step with you for 2 weeks. So you've got accountability. You've got a buddy cheering you on. You have somebody who's mentoring you on the way there. You've got a confidant, somebody who's going to keep everything you say in confidence, and so that you can feel free to be yourself and have a thought partner as you work through some of this and face the challenges that you're going to face because you're entering a new wilderness. Just as simple as that. A new year, a new wilderness. Because you're subconsciously putting on a new year, because this is just what we do, a lot of pressure. So just make sure that, you are taking some of the pressure off by knowing exactly what it is that you want, so that the pressure is lifted and you are just able to kind of move in that direction, right? There's no pressure of getting it wrong, basically. But I mean, we can do so much in this time, and it really depends on what you need. So if you need a clear, focused strategy, if you need so that your MIT every day, so you wake up knowing what you need to get done in your business every day, Um, if you want to work on transition rituals, so that we talked about what would work for you. What does it mean to switch from mom mode to business mode and business mode and back? Like, this is something that's really important. We don't want to mother our kids as stressed out entrepreneurs. We don't want to have calls with clients as a stressed out mom. We really want to bring our A game to everything that we do, and it begins with presence. And that is part of the transition ritual. It's just getting present and peaceful with where you are in life, where you want to go, and then just the transition, right, to and from. We can also talk about boundaries. So basically, what is not important right now based on where you want to go? What can you just drop, right? And put some protection around your time, your energy, your sanity, so that you're just working on the things that matter, and you're not saying yes to just out of obligation, or not saying yes because you feel bad, or not saying yes because you've always done this. And why is this year different? Well, this year is different because you've added something else to your plate. It's like my week. I said yes to things I was fully awake and aware to say yes to, and I did not say yes to everything. And the things I didn't say yes to, the people ended up getting resourceful and figuring it out themselves. They didn't need me. The things that were on my plate just on a weekly basis, right? The things that I do that carry over every single week, you're going to always know that your week is somewhat structured, as an organized entrepreneur, somewhat structured, and then you've got some wiggle room. And the kids don't just get my wiggle room; they get my full attention. And I want to make sure that I'm building a business that, when things like this happen in my week, I'm still very present as entrepreneur and mother. And that way, I'm going to sleep with no mom guilt. I'm going to sleep a lot more peacefully. I'm waking up happy. I see the boys' faces, and they're not stressed out. They're not weighed down by the problems at home. We just want to make sure that we're conscious of, like, the energy that we're bringing home, that we're filling the environment with, because this is their upbringing. So it's very important that we're conscious of how we're bringing them up and their childhood experiences. And anyway, that was how it applies for me. But there's just so much that we could go through. I would say ultimately, by the end of the call, by the end of our clarity intensive, I really just want you to trust yourself more and recognize where you already have what you need. You already know what you need to know, and you have the tools at the ready if you just open your eyes to see that they're there. And that really will give you, that will be a lift in your mindset, right? So as we enter this new year, so if you can find that clarity for what you want, what it is that you want, you can see it, taste it, touch it, feel it, and hear it happening, right? Live in action, surround sound, you hear it happening, right? You're that sure that 2026, this is happening. You don't know how. We'll get into that on the intensive, but you know what, and you feel the richness of that. That is where we want to be by the end of this call, by the end of the intensive. And then we move into the support of the how, right? The execution, and that will all be made clear. And that is where it starts ultimately, with your clarity on what it is that you want and how you want to feel. So it's something very precious to me. The price goes up next year. So I'll put the link here. If you guys want to sign up for that, you can always sign up for it and then book out into next year to at least lock in the price, because like I said, it's going to go up as of January 1st, the price. And take me up on the discount, I guess, at this point. And I will see you in 2 weeks. So the next time I'm back here, it will be 2026. If you have any questions, you can email me. If you're on my email list, then you could just reply to one of my emails, or you can just DM me, message me, let me know if you have any questions about anything that I said about the Clarity Intensive and you'd like to book one. Okay. All right. So that's a wrap. I'm going to get going, and happy holidays, everyone. Peace. Instagram's off, and now YouTube. Peace.